Hi guys, welcome. The first Talking Tottenham 1882 YouTube podcast is underway. It's taken me a while to organise everything, but everything stays the same. The guys will come in and there will guests as and when, if they get time. I'll have other guests on. I'll be doing the vlogs, the walkouts from the stadium, home and away, be dropping the videos there of that. And of course, the goals as and when. And I'll be having plenty of member content. So hope you guys stay with me. Lots of news today, lots of bullshit news as well, I would say. Guys, if you're here for the first time, hit like and hit the subscribe button. There's a new code. There's a new code for OK Jersey. TT 1882, that's Talking Tottenham 1882, to get your 8% discount. And we're still available on all the audio platforms, Spotify and Apple. Well, today, shall we start with the first bit of good news, shall we? Martin Dubravka, well, depends if you think it's good news, 37 years of age. What would you say about him? Dependable, experienced goalkeeper. He's thrived, I would say. He's had a good Premier League career for years at Newcastle. Contributed to a lot of their success, if you could call it that. He offers veteran stability, I guess, as a number one or a high quality backup. Good with his feet. Sweeper skills, you'd say, which is exactly what De Zerbi wants, and he's got experience in the big moments. I mean, listen, he values playing with his feet, and it's a big thing for De Zerbi to have someone who can play out from the back with his feet. And should Kinski get injured, I had him in my fantasy football team last season as a backup. For games when he was playing for Burnley, but it's another free transfer, which leads me on to this. The fan advisory board last night, this guy turned up, Vinai. That cheated, mate. Try looking at that screen for more than 5 minutes. Vinai discussed the importance of rebuilding and a connection with the supporters. He's got a big job on there, hasn't he? And the challenges created by the misinformation, which can impact trust and belief. Do you believe there's been misinformation? I'm not sure there's been misinformation. Let's have a look at him again. Is that a face you can trust? I don't think so. Roberto joined Spurs because he believes in what we do together as a team. He had no retention bonus. He has never asked for control over any decision making. And he was completely committed to the club if we were relegated. Here we go. This is the bit I like. Johan played a critical role in his appointment. Nothing to do with Paratici, obviously. Roberto was always the number one choice, and we are delighted with the impact he has made so far. This is the next bit I love. Many of the stories of links with players or regarding whom the club is trying to buy or sell are totally untrue. E.g., the club is not trying to sign Mason Greenwood. On the sporting directors, Vinai said, the club has confidence in our people. I'll take that off now because that's pretty disturbing. Where I was going to say, where are we? Sporting directors, Vinny said, the club has confidence in our people, but if we find someone who can complement our existing team and make it better, we will do that at the right time. And in the summer window is not that time. No one has been in the process and turned us down. Many names in the media linked with us we have never spoken to. If you believe that, you believe bloody anything. Hang on a second, I'll just bring Lubo in. Lubo, where are you? Let's change to 2. There we go.
How you doing,
Lubo?
All good.
I'm just going through Vinai's very believable fan advisory board comments, Lubo.
I've not seen them yet, so I'll be interested to hear.
Do you want? I don't want to go through it all. I'll carry on. Players are not bought or sold because the club wants to or Roberto wants to. Johan and his team work hard in hand in glove with Roberto to develop and deliver a joint plan. What Vinai is saying is we haven't turned down, or no one has turned down Spurs as a sporting director. We just haven't found the right person yet.
Yes.
I don't believe a word of it at all, because they've been looking for a new director of football, as we know, since Paratici left in January. Who goes into a transfer window from that position and not position yourself? He's talking about the restructuring and everything without getting a director of football in. He says he finally explained that the club are in constant dialogue with the PGMOL around refereeing standards and decisions. This is carried out privately and professionally rather than in public, as well as strengthening students through senior appointments in football performance and operations. Off-pitch senior hires have been made in communications, marketing, and restructuring commercial operations, but no director of football, right? None.
Right.
Okay. Vinai also highlighted a revised governance structure, including a clearer separation between the chairman and the CEO roles, and a board with more non-executive than executive representation. This is intended to provide the right level of checks and balances whilst allowing us to move quickly. The desired culture shift is towards empowerment of talented staff across the club, prioritising football performance and rebuilding the connection with supporters, with recognition that culture changes take time. He's basically, he says football and performance are now positioned at the centre of decision making, which has led to numerous changes. An example being, work is underway to reshape the first team environment in the training centre. I have this confirmed that the go-ahead has now been given. It was put on hold, Lubo, for the upgrade to the training facility and also for the equipment, because they likened it to a 5-star holiday camp hotel rather than a sporting performance centre. And they think that that's a lot to do with the lackadaisical attitude. They include new player briefing, tactical room, a complete transformation to the gym, changes to the player restaurant, and making the building feel less like a true performance environment. The closed season is the first opportunity we've had to now start to work on this stuff. The academy has seen significant transformation over the last couple of years, but since the autumn, significant investment has been made available to strengthen the talent pipeline as a key priority across all age groups, while acknowledging that the outcomes would take time to be visible. There's more. I could go on. They have said that player trading must improve, including adjustment to our wage structure and concluding deals more effectively and driving greater sales revenues given financial regulations. The sale of Brennan Johnson has highlighted as an example of this. Rafi Mawson was appointed last year to improve our focus and capabilities in the transfer area of getting the most from our squad. And he joined on June the 16th after serving his notice period. I could go on, but I think that's enough before boring anyone. Do we believe any of it, though? Because, like I said in the title, Spurs, the new era, prove it. Prove it.
Listen, at the end of Jonny, I've been saying on the WhatsApp group I'm on, time will judge Enoch, these kids, Nick Boucher, Vivian Lewis. Time will judge them. They've made an encouraging start. That's what I say. I can't remember the last time we went in for someone this early. If people can correct me in the comments, I remember Modric 2008 before the Euros. Hi Tony. So they've moved quickly. Okay, three of the four are free transfers that we've got in. But when you look at the financial commitment, big if, probably won't happen. But just say we get Tonali and Fernandes. Just say we get both of them over the line.
Yeah.
If you base just rough figures, I'm just spitballing here. You've got 100 million Tonali, 85 million Fernandes, 250 a week Tonali, 200 a week Fernandes, 5-year contracts for both of them. That's a financial commitment that the club are making of 302 million. Throw Van Hecker in as well, you're probably close on 400 million now for the next 5 years, which is 80 million a year. That's just on those three players.
Are you worried about FF? You know what I said? I was saying the other day, Lubo, could you imagine we're going from 44% of our income spent on wages? We're not spending money on wages. We're not spending money on transfers. And all of a sudden, come January, we get the news. We can't buy any more players in January because we've overspent and we have restrictions on FFP and PSR. Have they actually overcooked it? Dibby's saying you look like Jason Statham today.
I like his money.
Yeah. Kick ass Lubo today. Go on. What are you thinking? Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't know. Listen, I heard that we could spend up to 400 million without affecting without crossing the line for PSR. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know the ins and outs at the moment, currently, of the finances, because we've only seen up to June last year, haven't we? I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
look, Lubo, right?
We're a year out of date, so let's see. Who knows? Listen, that I'm sure. You know, they're throwing money at it. De Zerbi's calling the shots. They got a shock. As you said, it was like cardiac arrest.
He says he hasn't. Lubo. He's saying Vinai's saying. He's saying he's not calling the shots. This is a committee decision.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you believe it?
I think it's bullshit.
Of course it is bullshit.
Complete bullshit.
Can you smell it?
Yeah, you know what?
Rafi, I can believe. Rafi.
Yes, he's coming. I'm sure he is. Listen, he's Lang's boss, isn't he?
I believe that Rafi is a level above.
Yeah.
Lang does not have the 10 years experience that Rafi Mawson has at Manchester City, being involved in transfer negotiation, finance, contracts, and all the rest of it, and making the mistakes that we've constantly made for years. We've created a DOFO, Director of Football Operations position for him. I love an acronym, right? I mean, and I don't believe that De Zerbi is not calling the shots. I think none of us do. The thing is, look, are we in a situation where we are doing what we've done for the last two seasons, whereby we try to make out, they're trying to make out to the fans, we're trying really hard. Well, let's take, for example, Matheus Fernandes, okay?
Yeah.
We knew before we even put in a bid for the player, well, before we put in a bid for Matheus Fernandes, that he was subject to bids from Manchester United. And Man United were definitely in looking at him, right? But, you know, we suddenly come along with a bid. Do we actually think that all of a sudden that this guy is going to come to Spurs? Now, we're hearing lots of stories. The latest one I heard earlier today understands that Matheus Fernandes has given his approval to Tottenham Hotspur's contract proposal. Personal terms have been agreed. Matheus Fernandes has given the green light. Proposal till June 2031 with an option to extend for another season. Salary worth 8 million gross per season. Roberto De Zerbi has been key to get the personal terms done and has held talks with Matheus Fernandes to not only explain the project but his role, and convince Matheus to open the possibility of a Spurs move, and that he is preferable if he was to get one done, that this was the more crucial one of the two.
That's a strange take. I would have thought Tonali would have been the one.
I mean, is that just talk? Is that just talk to get Newcastle? To get Newcastle, it's like the PR machine is working, right?
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it's speculation. That whoever's come out with that, it's their opinion, isn't it? It's a subjective opinion. We'll see. Listen, I'm sure that Rafi Mawson and De Zerbi aren't on the phone to this guy who's posted this, saying, "Oh, by the way, just put it out there that Fernandes is the is the main priority at the moment." Who knows? Listen, they're going for both. Let's see how they get on.
I mean, does it actually matter? I mean, at the moment, like we all know that we need midfielders. We know we need strikers. We know we need a left winger. Are they just working through the? Are they just working through the pitch? And we're going to be excited, and we're going to be taken to the gate, and then find that we start the season with Matthias Tell, Solanke, and Richie, because that's the worry.
Well, listen. Firstly, you'll have Kudus in the front three, I would think,
if he's fit.
If he's fit,
it's only a knock. It's only a knock.
He will be, though. The reports coming out saying he will be fit.
Lubo, we heard that he was. We heard it was only a short omission twice. Then he broke down. Then he should have had an operation. Meanwhile, he wasn't fit enough to get out to even have 10 minutes on the bench for Ghana. So that makes me worry that he isn't anywhere near ready. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're right. But I do worry. I do. We shall see. But let's see some of. So Spurs are signing, Jonny, a centre forward. Yeah, there's more chance of us being signed up at this moment. Look, I'll be honest with you. I do believe one of these will get across the line.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah. The training ground has been closed. I was told the training ground is closed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So when I spoke to others recently, I said that I expect something to be done. I didn't expect it to be Dubravka, but knowing Spurs, that was it. So the defence is all sorted now.
Oh, will you send Jonny? Will you send Saba the link?
Oh yeah, okay, I will do. He's jump on, perfect. Hang on a second. 1 second, guys. Where is the link? Can you send him the link? Hang on.
Well, I came in via the StreamYard.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. I will send in the link. I will send in the link. Just so carry on talking, Lubo, and I will.
Which part were we up to? We still on. What are we on to? We're still talking about Vinai's bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah. We're still on that. We're still on that. Hang on a second. I will carry on. Look, I just think that Vinai has to deliver. No one's interested now of any story that, oh well, at the end of the day he only ever wanted Spurs. He only wanted someone but not Spurs. No one's interested in that. No one's interested in that at all. It has to be. He has to deliver. No one's interested in any story about he couldn't get there because he really wanted Man City or he always wanted Arsenal. We've been down there with Semenyo. We've been down there with Eze. We started talking to Morgan Gibbs-White before we had any dialogue with the club. So as far as I'm concerned, if they don't deliver one of these two, I'm going to kick off. And so would all the fan base. And I'll be honest with you, if you were to wonder what percentage of the fan base were actually believing that any of these would be delivered, what do you reckon the number would be?
Sure. Listen, I think if you're looking at it as a Spurs fan, Jonny, and you're looking at our history for the last 25 years, nobody's genuinely expecting either of them to get across the line. At some stage, though, Spurs have got to break this pecking order, and they've got to make a statement which is going to help promote them in a much better light when it comes to other players who they go after, who will think, blimey, Spurs mean business. They've got Tonali.
Yeah, they need that one, don't they?
They
need that one. Yeah,
for sure. And then hopefully the thing that then it changes a bit. You know, players will look at Spurs and think, do you know what? This is a change round. Maybe these owners are serious about football. Maybe.
Well, look, we've been here. We're a little bit longer in the tooth than some of the people that watch, right? We've been round the stadium a few times in our time, right? And quite frankly, I've never believed anything, right? I don't know, for some stupid reason, maybe I'm just delusional, that I believe that this was something different. And I said to Stel that I believe that I've sent him the link, by the way, so tell him it's been sent. I said to Stel, I think, as I said, a near fatal car crash will get this board realizing we nearly lost it all, and they will suddenly find money from somewhere. I didn't expect them to go and sell the art, Joe Lewis's old bed. They'll be selling his furniture and his boat next, to fund next year's. But it has to happen. But what I don't want to see, if it does happen, right, I don't want to see, like, next summer us say, well, we've got no more money left because we spent it all last summer. This has to be a consistent purchasing, whether it's your Chelsea or Arsenal. Look at Kroenke has continued to spend window after window after window. Mm-hmm. He hasn't messed about. He's gone in there and he's spent the money. If this is the start of how we mean to carry on, then great. But I mean, if we got both, I think players who would have had no interest in coming to the club would suddenly be interested. Guys, please hit the like and the subscribe button if you're here. Really appreciate all your support with the new channel, Talking Tottenham 1882. Don't be surprised when you come up and you don't see the Spurs 5 anymore. I'm still here. Only bullshit because it doesn't fit your narrative. I'm not sure whose narrative that is. Thank God we have Rafi here, and he's proven eye for talent a bit. Scott, I think that Rafi Mawson is a fantastic addition. I still would like to see a director of football, if I'm brutally honest, to go with it, but he hasn't turned up. We heard the same about Vinai. Bullshit baffles brains. They had one. The 4 S's. I can't remember what it was. The 4 S's, Lubo. I'll see if I can find it. One of those things they dreamt up at a board meeting about how they were going to attack everything. How lucky were we that De Zerbi's running everything, wanted the exact 2 players we wanted before he came in. Yeah, Scott. Interesting one. By the way, Scott, good luck tonight in the game. Be good to see you guys win. Be good to see Jonathan David turn up again. Easy
Jonny,
to be linked.
Jonny, just in answer to what Scott just sent through.
Yeah.
Several managers, a lot of the managers like the same players, which is why you get lots of different clubs going in for the same player. So, I get what he's saying, but
they're convenient, aren't they? They're a little bit convenient.
I don't listen. Senesi's a good player.
Oh yeah,
Robertson's a seasoned professional. So
I'm not disliking anything that we've done. None of it at all. It's gone a bit quiet on the Paulinia business. Is Sava coming? I can't. He's not. Tell him I've sent him on WhatsApp the link if he wants to come.
I think he's still working at the moment.
He's still working.
He's still working.
Oh, okay, right. He sent me the link, so I sent it to him. What was I going to say? Yeah, look, Paulinia, no news on him, no commitment on that front. If you were Paulinia, would you be saying to yourself, a bit like Bergvall, well, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Like, you'll take me if you can't get everyone else?
Do you know what it is? none of these players are willing to. Are they willing to back themselves with competition? That's for me. That's what I want to see. I think Vuskovic has got ahead of himself.
Oh, massively, massively.
He's way ahead of himself.
Do you think him and Bergvall? I had this conversation the other day, Lubo, when I said, as far as I'm concerned, if I was running the show, I'd be saying, you're 19, you're 20. You're on a contract to 2030. You're on a contract to 2031. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet, right? Be quiet, shut up, call the agent in, say, your client needs to be quiet. He's going to go out on loan now, right? Go and perform and start doing the talk on the pitch, right? At the level that you're meant to be at. Because let's be honest, Vuskovic isn't ready yet for the Premier League. He could be ready for a different league. No two ways about it. Maybe level for the Championship to go and play at a top Championship club.
Wouldn't you loan him to Brighton? I mean, it's perfect.
I'd loan him. No option. No option.
And the difficult thing with Bergvall is that he's played 78 games in the last 2 seasons.
Most of them in that first season, majority, right?
No, don't think so. Yes, the majority, yes.
Oh, he's had concussion. Yes, he's had 2 injuries
and an injury. But when you look at it, it's not like a Scarlett or a Lancashire who have played a handful of games that are coming up. Bergvall he's played 78 games out of 100 odd.
They're not the same level though, are they? Let's be honest.
No. And it's difficult to say, well, look, you've played 78 games in 2 years. You're going out on loan now. That's the difficult one with someone like a Bergvall, or if you spoke about Gray, who's played 80 games. It's not that they're sort of coming up, that they're young kids, and you'll send them out on loans to see if they can go up a level. They've already played. Bergvall's playing in the World Cup, so that's a tough one.
Are you happy to let him go? I mean, personally,
I'm happy to let him go. It all depends who we get. Johnny. If you've got Tonali and Fernandes coming in, and then you've got Gallagher and Bentancur as well, and we've got 1 game a week, you've got 4 midfield players for 2 positions.
Yeah, but you get rid of Papa Sarr. But what about?
No, fine. Yes, fine. You got Gray there as well, so you got 6. You get rid of Sarr, Palini is gone, Basuma's gone. Bring in 2.
So the numbers aren't massively different then, are
they? Johnny, we've played 25 games in Europe in the last 2 seasons. There are no games this season.
No, I understand that. So
you're going to struggle, barring injuries, which you never know.
Barring injuries?
Barring injuries, you don't,
including injuries.
With De Zerbi, he's not going to rush players out. He's not going to rush players back, shall I say? He held Udogie back for the Villa game.
You need a squad, right? If
you need a squad.
Spurs. If he's
got 2 players for each position, 3 keepers, that's 23 plus a few kids. You've got your squad for 3 competitions this year and pretty much 1 game a week.
Oh, I understand that.
Where are Gray and Bergvall going to get minutes if you've got 2 new players, whoever they are, Bentancur and Gallagher? Where are they going to get minutes? Carabao Cup?
Well, I just said to you, if you sell Papa Sarr, right, and your Basuma's gone and Paulini's gone, that's 3 players.
No, but you've still got replaced 6.
It. Pardon?
But if you've got 6.
No, I'm just saying we've removed 3 and we've brought in 2, right? What I'm saying to you is, why would you? First of all, we constantly got injuries. Constantly, the chance of us coming into the season and not getting injuries, all of a sudden, the last 2.5 seasons have just been riddled with injuries. I hope it's removed, but what I don't want to do is we've spent all this time trying to get Bergvall and Archie Gray club trained, I just think send them out on loan. I've got no interest on selling them.
For me, that would be the key. If you can send them out on loan, send them out on loan.
Because just think about it. God, I'm just going to say,
Jonny. The other thing also is that it's going to be a massive financial commitment to rebuild this squad. Enormous. You look at it. If you got just say big if may not happen, but if you had Sonali and Fernandez and Van Heck, that's 400 million just on fees and wages. That's 3. De Zerbi has said, okay, we've got three free transfers, so that would be 6. And you're looking at De Zerbi said that he's only happy with 10 to 12 players out of a squad of 28. So you're looking at 16 to 18 players that he wants to replace.
Yes, so he's not going to replace. The rumour is that he's going to be looking to get 6 to 7 players in realistically in this window. Yeah. But don't forget, we'll be selling players, Lubo. You've just quoted the number of players coming in, right, and how much they cost. But if you get rid of Cuti Romero, who apparently suddenly says he wants to stay because he likes what's going on, don't sit on the bench, mate. And we're going to be looking at getting rid of Vicario, Dragusin, maybe again Papasar, maybe a Matthias Tell. There's money to come in. I'm just saying.
Tell's not going anywhere from what I'm told, Jonny. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, but listen. You can be told something. If someone comes in and offers the money, Lubo, we know every player has its price right now. I get getting told that what's name's going nowhere as well, Solanke, which is probably true. But look, all I'm saying is, why would you get rid of Bergvall? The whole idea now is to get back in Europe. With the money that we spend now to get back in Europe. And to get back in Europe, the one thing that we've been short on, and this club, is club-trained players. And Bergvall and Archie Gray would fall into that category. I'm not thinking Champions League. I'm thinking Europa League. And God knows how many games you're playing. Hence the reason why Morgan Rogers is not starting for England. Not because he's no good. It's because he's played so many games less than Bellingham. More than Bellingham. So I just think for myself that we need to get these two over the line. And I think they'll start trading other players. If we get one over the line, I'll still be happy. But to get none over the line, I think is outrageous. I mean, look at his numbers there for West Ham last season, There's nothing wrong with that for a 21-year-old and a club and in a team that's struggling. Created 37 chances over a chance a game, 3 goals, 4 assists in a shocking team. Let's see some of the other comments. Sky has a breaking news on the Fernandez deal. What's the breaking news, guys? Let us know. I haven't seen anything. It's just the same old scam. I think you could be right. You could be right. Lyle Thomas saying Spurs willing to pay that. Well, this is what I'm saying to you. I believe that this could happen. Why do I believe it will happen? Because Jim Ratcliffe, right, has had to bring some more money in, take out another loan. They spent big last season, and I think they need to sell players before they can do the deal. Ugarte, they're trying to sell. They'd like to sell Marcus Rashford. They need to sell players and bring the players in because of the big spend last year. He does not value them at £80 million. West Ham are obviously hoping for a bidding war between the two to drive the price up. That's obvious. And Spurs are going to fall for it. And I'll be honest with you, if we do miss out on Matthias Fernandez and we would only go to 75 mil and Man United went to 80, 85 mil, I wouldn't be upset because I think 80 mil is absolute bananas for this player. What are you thinking? He's a great player, but 80 million?
Jonny, I think we've had 9 years of appalling recruitment that has knocked the club back so far.
Yeah.
We're now in a position where if we're not being cute and we're getting these free transfers, we need that director of football. We need Lang gone. and we're having to overpay. But the important thing is that you get one over the line that makes a statement. And if you've got to overpay, you've got to overpay. You know, other clubs overpay. I mean, look at Chelsea. You had Caicedo at 105, Enzo at 115.
Well, do you think that's overpayment? Because Real
Yes.
Madrid, well, I particularly don't, because Enzo Fernandez is going to Real Madrid. Caicedo is a level above anything we've had in our midfield.
Jonny,
Yeah.
Absolutely. But at what point are these players worth this sort of money? It's madness. It's inflation gone mad.
But Enzo Fernandez had won the World Cup, was outstanding for Argentina in the World Cup.
Fabulous player, you know.
Yeah.
What you wouldn't give to have him in your team. You know,
Same with Caicedo, right?
I'd have him before Tonali. He's a fabulous player. But you know, I'm just saying generally that these.
So there, you just said it. You just hit the nail on the head, right? Enzo Fernandez, you think he's much more. You would rather have him than Tonali. So would I. I'd rather have Bruno Guimaraes other than him, right? I'm just trying to work out the value here of Matheus Fernandes. What we do know is, I think we can agree that Matheus Fernandes and Tonali are a massive improvement on what we currently have.
Enormous levels above.
Yeah,
levels above.
I think so as well. Josh Smith makes a good point, Luvo. What are you thinking? I think it could well be the case. Man United are rumoured to be holding off doing the deal for Matheus Fernandes until July the 1st with the new tax year. So I think we will know soon enough when we hit July the 1st. If you suddenly see Manchester United moving strongly on Matheus Fernandes and coming up with the money straight away, I think we're toast on that one. I think if we are going to get a deal done, we will try to get the deal done early.
Yeah.
But we as fans, we look at this in a completely different perspective to the reality of the situation. Because the reality of the situation is, if you are the selling club, you're in no hurry to sell the player just now because you want to try and get the most money. If you're the player, you want to see what other offers you get, right? Other than Spurs and what have you. As the old saying goes, only fools rush in, right? So are we expecting too much for the players to commit at this early stage? Isn't it right that Tonali's waiting to see whether Arsenal or Man City come in, or Matheus Fernandes? As much as we want them and as much as they're happy with the money that's offered, is it really their true destination, or are they just hanging on the wayside just to see, and rightly so, to see if a better offer comes up?
I suppose from the player's point of view, yes. But it all depends, you know. Listen, if De Zerbi has sold this project to Tonali, you know, I want you in, I'm going to build this project around you, you know, you're my number one man, etc., etc., etc. Then, you know, you don't know. You don't know what he wants. You know, his wife, I hear, wants to come to London. Tonali, yeah, it's a big help. This helped us when Spurs and Newcastle both went in for Maddison, and Maddison's wife wanted London, not Newcastle. So, you know, it's there's all variables that, you know, that go into a transfer.
What do you think of this comment? We got to ask. Listen. Just so, it's a fair comment. It's a fair comment because we were so glad to see the back of Levy. We just thought that maybe, just maybe, new ball, they'd done an investigation into Levy, which turned out to be true, right? The Vinai was coming in to shake shit up, which was true. Did it turn out how we expected? No. Are we questioning Vinai now everything's been revealed? 100%. Vinai and Lang, the double act, are, you know, the comedy duo. Laurel and Hardy, the two of them.
I think for me to answer him, I think when he came in and he was communicating with the fans, you know, Levy, we know, doesn't like communicating particularly.
No.
He's very introverted, not comfortable in front of talking with people. You only ever heard from him once a year, unless he was at Oxford the Oxford Student Union doing a talk, or there'd be the odd interview with maybe the London Evening Standard. Vinai came in, started talking, and you think to yourself, this is better. Someone comes in and they're actually respecting the fans. They're respecting the fans. But what happened next with Vinai, unfortunately, Paratici came back. He didn't have the balls to give Paratici the top job, didn't want to upset Lang, gave him a joint DOF, joint positions. And then when things started going off the rails as far as the first team are concerned, he thought to himself, him and Lang were fully behind Thomas Frank and wanted Frank to stay till the end of the season.
Yeah.
If that had been the case, then I think tomorrow or Friday we'd have been looking out for the Championship's fixtures, and London.
100%. 100%. Lincoln away,
Millwall and Charlton. So
yeah.
So for me, that they were two major errors of judgment by Vinai, and if you're in that position, you can't be making errors of judgment that are this big. And they left Frank in charge. Then they went to Paratici. Well, in fact, I can't even blame Vinai for that, because I think that was the club went to Paratici to get Tudor. But Vinai seemed to have been sidelined. So all this chat, all these statements.
Hang on, just to interject here. His first choice, Paratici, was before Thomas Frank, was Roberto De Zerbi, right? That's what he gave them, right? They went for Thomas Frank. Him and Vinai and Levy decided to not listen to the guy. Look, I believe that Paratici is still the reason why we're going to get some of our money back on these players, right here, right now. Yeah. I very much so. But do you not? We did believe for that initial period that this was the first part of change, and it has transpired that change has come. Levy's gone, but the whole thing is, do we believe ENIC 2.0? And we're too long in the tooth. Lubo and I don't believe a word of it, right? We've heard it all before. But if they deliver these two players, or one of these two players, and we go on to recruit a top striker, and we change this squad around with a top manager, then I'll start to believe, hang on a minute, maybe, just maybe, things are about to change. But it's going to take a lot of convincing. You?
Oh, God, Jonny, it will take years before I'm 100% behind.
Years?
New owner. Yeah, it take years.
Yes. Well, even if they go, come on, even if they go spending the money and bring top players in this window, you wouldn't sort of say, well, you know what, maybe.
Listen, I would be softening my stance towards them.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, am I converted? Then no, this has got to be done on a consistent basis, and they've got to build. They've got to build 100%. A team. They've
not
got
one window.
Correct, and that could be because we finished 17th and they got a hell of a shock. So they've got to show me that this is that they're looking to compete. They're looking to build the football side and make it sustainable in terms of competing, and that you can only do over several windows. Now, the statements that came out, the three statements that they brought out a few weeks ago, all said that they would be backing the manager. All said that they've given the manager a 5-year contract. So if you put the sentences together, that's 10 windows potentially that they are saying they are going to back De Zerbi. This is window number 1. I'm not going to wish my life away. Let's just see how window number 1 goes. If we run into trouble and we need 1 or 2 new players to strengthen the team in Jan, let's see if they go in and do it then. Then we see where we end up at the end of next season. If we're back in Europe, then De Zerbi will have a bigger pool of players to buy. And if you get a statement signing over the line in this window, be it Fernandez, be it Tonali, whoever, or another, then again that lifts the profile of the club back. because these owners have smashed the brand.
Yeah, we're on the floor. We're a laughing stock. Yeah, we're a laughing stock. I mean, when you're listening to Talk Sport or whatever, and they're laughing because we finished 17th twice. Who did Spurs think they are? Right. Yeah. This would shut them up. You know, it would change the narrative. If we deliver to Gnarly, it changes the narrative completely to, hang on a minute, are Spurs finally making moves? Now Daniel Levy's gone, and the reputation Daniel Levy had, that no one liked him on the board. Are they reinventing themselves now? Are they finally going to play the wages? Are they finally going to get these big players over the line and pay the proper wages? The noise is 100% they are. Just to say, Tom King, and to everyone in the chat, this is the new channel. It's called Talking Tottenham 1882. A lot of the guys will still be coming on. Lubo, Sean, Stell, and obviously others will be coming on. And through the season, I'll be doing the pre-game and post-game vlogs that be uploaded, goals from the games as we go home and away, and obviously as well doing interviews with people before the game. So really appreciate your support. I know a lot of you have turned up and going, what's gone on? It's in essence the same. Except it's sort of my channel now with guests, and say a lot of people who were on before, basically. But just wanted to tell you that, and again, thank you for your support. And just to say that the new code now at the bottom there is TT 1882, which is Talking Tottenham 1882. Let's see some of the other big up gents. Let's see some of the other comments. What do you think of Dubravka, the new Joe Hart? I think he's a bit better than that, don't you think?
What do I think of Dubravka?
Well, he's good with his feet, right?
Every time I watched him play for Burnley, he was in the thick of it last season.
Well, he's playing for Burnley, which is a bit of an issue. I mean, he's never going to be busier than he was last season, that's for sure.
Well, that's right. But in terms of why we're buying him instead of going for a much better keeper, I think there are bigger priorities at the club than goalkeeper at the moment.
So we're using that money that we're going to get from Vicario towards other players, correct? And rightly so.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think he wants to give Kinski a chance. I think Kinski deserves a chance. Listen, I put my hand up. I slaughtered him for his performances the season before last. Villa, Arsenal gave goals away, looked very shaky. Atletico Madrid, Newcastle let Waldemar score that header, missed the punch, didn't he, in the League Cup last season, just gone. Then Madrid, and I was saying, get him out. Don't ever want to see him play for Spurs. But I've got to tell you something, I hold my hands up. The mental strength from coming back after Madrid, because that was pure humiliation in front of the whole of Europe, and his performances since then were superb. So, for me, if you've got a back three or a back four, you're looking at Van Heck, Van der Ven, Senesi. You've got Porro, you've got Robertson, whatever, Udogie. If you've got and you get a decent midfield, then for me, I think you run with Kinski. If he's a gem, he'll show it. And if we've got a gem, then why go out and waste money?
Do you remember?
Chelsea spent 72 million on Kepa.
I know.
What a waste of money.
I know. Well, he's playing for Arsenal now. He's playing for them. Do you remember? I never forget. It's funny how fickle fans are, Lubo. I never forget that first game where he was thrown in against Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he had an unbelievable game. And everyone was going to be in the stands. Did you see that ball distribution? Unbelievable. Vicario can't do that. Oh, my God, what a save. Excuse me. Turned out he was the hero. He ran into the crowd. I think he embraced his sister, I think it was. And the headlines were amazing. And, fickle, what happened at Atletico Madrid in the Metropolitano. I felt for him that day. I felt for him that day. And I wondered and I worried that a goalkeeper died that day because I don't see anyone humiliating that manner, and Tudor should never work in football again after the way he treated him. But to come back like he did in those games, and thank God Vicario was injured, because I think had Vicario not been injured, I think he would never have played for the club again. We probably would have sold him, or he would have been a number 2, and we would have spent the money. So I'm grateful that he had the chance to show exactly what he could do. The save against Wolves, that incredible save at Leeds, and his performances in general were superb. And I think, like you say, Lubo, he rightly deserved to be, our number 1. Guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button. And if you're here for the first time, hit the subscribe button, as we try to grow the channel. Loads of you watch the channel, but not all of you hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, and really appreciate all the support for the new channel. Let's see. Should we go through some of the other links, Lubo? What about this one? Now, I was a big fan of his at Leeds, and when I suggested it before he ended up going to West Ham, I got a lot of abuse from people saying, yeah, that's about the level. He's gone to West Ham and you're upset that he's gone there. I even liked him at West Ham. I got to be honest with you. Some people still turn their nose up at him. But for me, I think he's shown again at the World Cup 2 really well taken goals. He's got pace. I think he's perfect for De Zerbi in the take-on. And I wonder whether, for me, he might be a better option than Savinho. The only thing is, what is the chance of us doing double business with West Ham? And what are we trying to recreate here? Are we trying to recreate? So we had 2 17th places and just avoided relegation. But what we're doing is we're trying to buy all the players from West Ham, the club that got relegated. Are we on the right track?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Why not? We're buying a player. We're not buying a team, are we?
No, I know, but it's always levelled at us. You know the score. The Spurs only buy players from teams that got relegated. We hear the same thing every year, right?
Well, very few top 6 teams do business with each other, do they? Apart from maybe Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah.
And, Chelsea are Arsenal's feeder club, or have been for a while. I mean, it's been a while for Spurs and West Ham, hasn't it? I mean, we bought Canute, we bought Michael Carrick, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's been a while. No, for me, I think Somerville looks very good in the World Cup. There was one piece of action when we lost to Chelsea, second last game of the season. We were dreadful that night, weren't we? We were awful. But there was one piece of
Chelsea
play.
away. You're talking about,
yeah, Chelsea away. There was one.
No, I was in the stands. I was losing the will to live.
Yeah, I know. Bentancur played a straight ball to Porro, who laid off a lovely forward pass to Moani and sent him clear. And you just saw a very quick microcosm of De Zerbi ball, of how quickly they played it around. It was like a triangle. And he said, and Moani obviously balls it up when he got to the box. But you just saw it, and I'm just looking forward to seeing the way De Zerbi recreates what he did at Brighton at Spurs. And we need players like Somerville, I think, who will be excellent. For me, I didn't see any reason why they bought Odegaard. I didn't see any reason why they bought Tell. Didn't think they were needed, to be honest. But they did. But there you go. There you go.
Tell me something. If we had a situation where Bergvall left, there's one club that have been showing interest in him. I'd laugh at this one. I can't see it ever happening, but if Anderson goes, any chance of a swap plus cash? I mean, I would take this all day long. In fact, I'd probably get rid of 2 midfielders. I'd get rid of Papassar and Bergvall for Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard he's 90 million. Gibbs White.
Well, the
So
price has gone up. He signed a new contract. If his agent was anything worth his salts, he would have bought a buyout clause to put in that new contract to get the new wage, but it wouldn't have been £90 million, right? Because he'd be wanting to get him out. I'll sign a contract, fine. I'll sign a new contract, but it's got to be a balance. I mean, most now are trying to put a buyout clause in if they're re-signing a new contract. Elise had one, Eze had one, many have one.
yeah,
Be interesting to see. Bergvall on loan to Bournemouth.
could see that.
Aston Villa's been linked. Aston
Yeah,
Villa to
Forest have been
Bergvall.
linked. Chelsea have been linked.
Chelsea have ruled
Liverpool,
themselves out now. Chelsea have ruled
Liverpool were
themselves out.
linked. Liverpool were linked previously.
Okay, it's not going to go to Liverpool. 45 million and 45 million get the player we want. Now, if you're selling him for 45 mil, you have to either have a buyback option for the same fee or 5 million more or what have you, or you have to have a good sell on, because there's every chance of 45 million at 20 years of age, if he progresses the way the Swedish national team and many people in the game. Listen, Spurs fans might not rate him, but the fact that he's made that statement, the interest has been strong in the player. So whilst you might play him down, you got to remember, I think most of us forget that he swept the board the season before last.
Yeah.
In everything. He was outstanding. No one would have been interested in selling him now. We've had a pragmatic manager who didn't fancy Bergvall, Thomas Frank. We then had Tudor, and we've had a situation where he's come in, Roberto De Zerbi, and Bergvall's had one injury, a really bad concussion, which he came back too soon from and was out again, and then another injury. So it's been stop-start, different managers, not getting the game time. And I think we're judging a lot of our opinion based on that rather than the talent that the kid possesses. And I that's why I'm erring on the side of caution and would rather us sell Papa Sarr, because I think other than the legs, what else has he got?
No, I agree. Sarr's been one of those that has flattered to deceive, hasn't he? Flattered to deceive. You get the odd game with Sarr where you look at it and think, well, what a player. And then for the next 9 or 10, you never see it. So
yeah, we've been rebranded, guys, right? It's no big deal, okay? I didn't want, imagine doing a show, right? Sorry, Lubo. Imagine doing a show and every time I was coming on, they're going, oh, it's Jonny 1. Where's the 4? Where's the... So rather than have that, I have an Instagram account, which is Talking Tottenham 1882, which I've been doing my walkout videos now for at least 2 years. And so it made sense to rebrand it to Talking Tottenham. We are here talking Tottenham, right? That's what we do. That's what Lubo and I are doing. So it made perfect sense. Sorry, Lubo. Carry on, mate.
Where were we? We're talking about Bergvall, weren't we?
Yeah.
Personally, I'd loan him. I think he had a much better season in his first season. The second season was messed up with injuries.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think he's got a much better coach if he stays at Spurs. The problem is that he won't get too much game time. I just can't see it, depending on who we buy. I was told Kane was coming back. You're quite right. I was told
he's coming back. He's coming back
by the same guy who told me that Bale was coming back, and Bale did come back. So
he is coming back. No, Trob, because but he'll be coming back as an ambassador to show people around the training ground.
It would be nice if De Zerbi got some big players in. We had a really good season. And then at the end of next season, it'd be nice for Kane to come back. That would be superb.
Well, we'll be interested to see what's going on. Let's have some of the other comments. With what we've got sorted so far, we may have made the squad better, but I can see much improvement in the starting. Look, if you're not happy with what we've done so far, basically, I can't help you. Senesi is a superb player, right? Watching Bournemouth was my favourite pastime. I enjoyed watching them more than any other team in the Premier League, including my own team last season. 18 games unbeaten, and Senesi was the cornerstone behind the majority of it, right? Van Hecker, great forward passer. Everything that De Zerbi likes in a player. He knows the system. Robertson, experience. Can he cross the ball? Yes. Can he whip the ball in? Yes. Experience? Yes. The keeper, experience. We got rid of Balloon Boy, and Pedro Porro signed a new contract. So as far as we go now, fantastic. If the window closed tomorrow, there would be a riot. But let's be fair here. This is better than we've moved in many, many years, because for many, many years we've been lastminute.com. Terrible. Yeah. Listen, a lot of people are very divided. I think Bergvall is more divisive than any other topic right now, Lubo. I think it's about 50-50, those who want to keep him and those that say he's shit and we should and he should go.
Yeah.
But
I'd loan him. Personally, I'd loan him. But to a Premier League club.
Yeah, get rid of. You see, it's all mixed. It's all mixed. Why would you want to keep players who aren't good enough just because they're homegrown? I just think that there's a player in there.
So do I. And people are saying he's not good enough. Kid's 20 years old. He's 20 years old. For all of you who have been working several years, how's your performance now compared to when you were 20? It's a really unfair comparison.
Well, mine's gone downhill because I'm past that. I'm over that hill, President. Like keep peaking, and then it plateaus. And I'm over that part of it.
Not every player is Lamine Yamal or Diamondi. It's you can't compare. And the other thing also is that I've heard many fans say, well, he pulls the white shirts on. I compare him to everybody else. He's got to do a job. Yes, he's got to do a job. But when you're looking at somebody like a Tonali, just turned 26, he's coming now into his peak years. So you're looking at it and you're thinking, great. He's played several years and he's got up to a point now where he's now coming into peak years. So he's gone up and up and up levels wise. So why are we comparing a Bergvall to someone like Tonali?
You can't.
I saw somebody saying, Gomez at Wolves.
Gomez, good player, very good player.
Very good player, different level to Bergvall. Gomez is 25.
Yeah.
Bergvall's had 2 years in the Premier League. Gomez has had 7 or 8 years.
He's not oven ready, is he? He's not oven ready.
He's not. So how can you? Of course, Gomez is better than Bergvall.
Yeah.
He's had 3 or 4 times more experience of playing at the higher level. So, I think fans' expectations are just unrealistic.
It's 20 years of age. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The GOAT is returning.
Oh,
the
my
GOAT
God.
is returning.
Barrister Royale will be. But Nick will be like all over. He'll be out getting pissed.
Emerson Royale with cheese.
Yeah.
Emerson Royale with cheese. What a character he was. What a character. Listen, meanwhile, he left Spurs, went to AC Milan, won a trophy.
Yeah.
Went to Brazil, won another trophy.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You come to Spurs, you win jack shit, you leave, and you win a trophy. I know it's changed a bit because we won the trophy, the other trophy, the Europa League. If Anderson is going to the City for 120, then Fernandes is 18. Yeah, maybe. But Man City will pay more. Man United and Fernandes reach personal terms. Look, it looks like he's going to United. If you have the choice, where would you go as a kid?
Of course.
Simple. You're going to go to United. And the other thing, the strong pull for Fernandes to go there is the long and illustrious relationship with Portuguese players.
Yeah.
You know, it's long. You got Carlos Queiroz, you know, as the manager with Ferguson, Ronaldo, Bruno. I mean, just
Nani.
Nani. Yeah, Nani. There's loads and loads of Portuguese players that have gone there. So, you know, in all said and done, you know, that is probably the draw. And Bruno will probably be on the phone to him, trying to sweet talk him. The only thing is, I would say, is London matching their wages and Roberto De Zerbi turning around and saying, look, this is my plan. This is where you're going to play. You are going to be my main guy. You're going to be playing every week. Maybe that could be the thing that spins it. If we miss out, I think we are getting both Fernandes and Tonali, then Savinho. Well, we shall see. We don't want Solanke and Richie starting. Would you rather have, see, for me, I'd rather have Walton, I'd rather have Bruno Gomes than Tonali, personally. You, Lubo?
Well, you've got, it's interesting with Guimaraes, yes, probably at the moment we're okay because you've got Maddison, you've got Xavi when he's fit, you've got Kudus that can play as a 10. So we've got 10s at the moment. It's 6 and 8s that we don't have, and that's where Walton and a Tonali would come in handy. I mean, for me, that'd be brilliant. You get those two, I'd be delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Spurs are the Patsy Club.
Yeah, listen, we have been, but there comes a point where we've actually got to get one over the line, because if we don't, this will just carry on.
It's so split in the chat. Don't forget, guys, when the show finishes, to drop some comments in the chat. Always reply to them all. But we're really split here. We're about 50-50 that you're all delusional that none of these deals are going to get done. We're 50-50 that Bergvall is going to happen. One that is rumoured coming out today is that Mikey Moore to West Ham on loan is being discussed as a potential part of any deal for Matheus Fernandes. A couple of other names have also been discussed simultaneously. It'd be quite interesting, though, because Mikey Moore's dad is actually a Millwall fan. So I'm not sure how that one will pan out in going down the West Ham every day, because West Ham and Millwall are 100% rivals.
Yeah.
I think there's more chance of him going abroad. What do you think of that one, Lubo? Be a good loan move for him, though.
Be a very good loan move. Be a superb loan move, and that's your next move, isn't it, from Scotland? No, never thought about wearing a wig ever. I can honestly say that.
United aren't spending 80 million for Fernandes. I think you're right, Terry, but I think obviously the lure for him with the Portuguese connection, but I don't think Ratcliffe is going to sanction it. I think Carrick will like it, but listen, if they don't sign him, it's not going to be the end of the world. Camavinga from Real Madrid is going to cost less money than Matheus Fernandes. Let that sink in. Seriously, right? And I think that's where Spurs should be looking right now, because Real Madrid under Mourinho is getting rid of so many players, Lou. And when you look at them and you look at Barcelona, same thing, trying to raise money for Julian Alvarez. You got Rafinha, you've got Rodrigo goes. There's so many players. You've got Brahim Diaz, who would be a better striker than what we've got right now. Maybe we should be looking there. I mean, Camavinga's, I don't believe, is going to leave Real Madrid to come to Spurs. No. And neither will Tiramendi come there either. July the 1st is next week. And so that's when deals might start to come to fruition. Has anyone done any more deals than Spurs?
No. I've answered that. There we go.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to double down. The money's needed by West Ham by the 30th of June. Yes, that is a very good point. I completely forgot. So That's not going to do the business for Manchester United. Maybe that's the loophole that Spurs.
Yep, the money's there.
Majority of fans should pay the money and then say not much the money. I don't know about that. I heard that July the 1st is important to these deals too, due to the part, etc. Let's see. My bloody old man died on July. I would say that the point that just made just now that West Ham need 150 million, roughly. You got a West Ham fan, haven't you? As a friend,
it was over 100. I know that.
Yeah. There is rumours that the owner, the part owner, now the others are all stepping down, is willing now to put the money in. He was only going to put the money in before if it was matched, but now it looks like he could be moving away from the club for stuff that happened allegedly.
Well, it's interesting because David Sullivan, who is the senior shareholder, is out the club like Daniel Levy's out the club, still holding shares, but not actively involved in any shape or form with the club. So
I mean, I don't think it. Do you think he'll hold on to his share?
No, I think he'll sell them.
Got to go. Got a video coming out talking about decent football. See you later. Yeah. Enjoy. Yeah. Karma. It will come, just like it came to Gabriel. Talking about karma, what did you think about the uproar for Jed not shaking Thomas Partey's hand? I was applauding it, but I was amazed to see the apologists in the chat saying he's a disgrace. He's an absolute disgrace that he didn't shake his hand, only to see Declan Rice hugging him after the game. Thoughts? Controversial. Lubo said nothing.
Words fail me, Jonny. Words fail me.
Would you have shaken his hand?
No.
Exactly. Would you have hugged him?
No.
Exactly. I rest my case. Big up, Jed. And I actually thought it was quite harsh that he was taken off last night, because I thought Anthony Gordon was absolutely shocking, along with Noni Madueke. I think the two of them were poor. I couldn't believe it waited that long to change them. But we should get rid of Richie before Brazil get beaten tonight. Parachichi is so shit. Thank God he's gone. Scott, maybe look at some of the squad that's left that we're going to get the money for, including Dragusin. Sorry, not Dragusin, including Vuskovic, Papasar. Yeah. There's lots there. Just work your way through it. The change will begin when they show us some real shit, not this free transfer bullshit. Come on. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Parachichi cooked more books than Goldrims. I'm pleased you've rebranded the channel. Thank you, Kulos. Appreciate it. Yeah, it took a while, but we got there in the end. Big up, Jonny. Good luck with the new channel. Thank you, Jay. Compare Dubravka with Vicario. Come on. You can't. Look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Dubravka's a better keeper than Vicario. What I would say to you is that Dubravka is better with his feet and distribution than Vicario. The rest, we all know. When it comes to shot stopping, Vicario is absolutely superb. But right now, Juventus have pulled out, and they'd rather go for Emi Martinez at Aston Villa. Inter Milan.
You can't blame them, can you?
You can't. Inter Milan were then looking, but they're not sure. And now Napoli have pulled up. So they could have a situation where Spurs are caught over a barrel, Lubo, because everyone now knows they need to get rid of players because their squad's too big. And they also know that Spurs have got about 18 keepers, and we might need to get... How many keepers have we got now?
Think 5. 1, 2, 3, 5.
5, including Gunter.
Including Gunter, we've got 5. Gunter, Austin, Dubravka, Vicario, and Kinski.
Yeah, and Iro. Did you see Iro? Iro did the introduction to Dubravka. Nice touch.
Did he?
They're doing with these videos. Let's see what Dubravka. Mayor's a player. Bigger concern is it means Kingsley is number 1, which is a disaster. Listen,
Why is that a disaster?
Sure.
I don't
I'm
get
not
it.
sure why. He kept us up. He was just as much in this, in the reason why we survived, as De Zerbi, Paulinho, and him. How many crucial saves? How many crucial saves did he make? Countless.
Wolves, well, he won us 2 points at Wolves, and he won us a point against Leeds. Those 3 points, guys. We lose those 3 points. He doesn't make those saves. We're relegated. Simple as that. Simple as that. We're on 38. West Ham on 39. So,
hey, look, it's just like I have PTSD from last summer. I believe 0 links.
sound like still.
I think. Listen, you're not alone, Tones, late Tones. I think none of us truly believe it. Like, none of us would be shocked if we went to bed tonight and we woke up in the morning and found Tonali has gone to Arsenal, Man City, and Matheus Fernandes has joined Man United.
Sure.
Right? Would we be angry? You bet we would, because we'd be starting the process again. We'd be showing that we were desperate, right?
No,
and if we went in for
Johnny, we're not desperate. We're not desperate.
I think we are.
I think it'll be disappointing because again we've gone for some big players, and they haven't, and it hasn't happened.
I'll get them unbanned. By the way, everyone who was banned before will be unbanned. I don't ban anyone unless they, start, really terrible situations. Listen, Lubo will tell you, and Savo, what have you, when you come and you do these channels, you're going to say things that are clipped, and someone is going to come back in 6 months' time and said 6 months ago, look, I turned around and I thought Thomas Frank was going to be good. I even called him the professor when we were setting up, doing different tactics, right? I got it totally wrong. I was based on the years that I've been watching him at Brentford due to players that I know there and so on and so forth. You get it wrong. And but when you put your head up above the parapet, you got to take the nice compliments and the comments that Lubo and I get, and some of the shit ones. I mean, the shit one isn't like, have you ever thought about wearing a wig? We're talking about, some really shitty stuff. But De Zerbi's not going to walk. I think he's gone too much money. Dubravka's signing is the caprese salad on our plate instead of the steak we ordered. It's the side dish, Art. It's the side dish. What's this? Fucking hell, Lubo. Let Johnny speak. Paulinho kept us up. He should have been our first signing for pure respect. If I was him and didn't get a deal at Spurs now, I'd actually hate the club. Well, this is what I was saying, Sonny. What are we doing? What have they told Paulinho? Look, mate, you sit over there, right? We were last we heard that Spurs were negotiating a deal. So do you think we're going to lose out on both of the deals, the big deals, and we're going to announce the signing of Paulinho on a permanent deal as if the other 2 deals were nothing? And because I'll tell you why, because the club is saying, don't believe that comment last night. Don't believe all the links with the players we are supposedly linked with. And it only mentioned Mason Greenwood, but I think that was a nod to the fact that just because you hear in the press that we're linked with Matheus Fernandes and Tonali doesn't mean it's true. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Threw me off with the name change. I'm sorry, guys, if you got thrown off with the name change. Apologies. But, it's it had to be done. I think you need to be calm with Kinski. If it goes bad and, Dubravka has to come in, so be it, and we'll address it in the summer. I think most people thought we might go in for Verbruggen. But as Levy said, if we have had our pants pulled down with Van Hecker, could you imagine what they do to us with the other one? Yeah. So, no, I don't think so. ENIC appeased the fans 1 week and 2 free transfers. A Brighton sweater links the players we'll never get. I think that's a lot of the story. Let's see some. Not sure about Somerville. Would be great next year, just in some good form. I think he was in good form. I mean, most West Ham fans last season thought he was the crucial player to keep them up. And when he got injured in those 2 games, West Ham fans feared the worst. Do you not think?
Listen, he blew hot and cold last season, didn't he?
He did, but in a team that was hot and cold.
Yeah, yeah. So,
is he this?
I think he's better than Odebear.
So do I.
I think he's better than Odebear. I'm disappointed with Odebear. He flatters to deceive. You'll see a flash from Odebear, but very little. Very little.
A convicted felon. I mean, anyone would think he's raped. I don't know what he's done there, but I mean, come on,
Johnny. I'll answer that. The recruitment since Poch wanted players when we left the lane in 2017, the recruitment's been dreadful. I mean, we didn't get any players for 3 windows to start with, did we? It was just appalling. So no, you can't blame it. This is down to Paratici. Release full statement in the paper they're written on at Forest.
Yeah, especially with Marinakis, right?
Yeah.
Who can forget that video? That was the freakiest video of the year. That video where Morgan Gibbs-White looked like a startled rabbit in the headlights. Yes, Mr. Marinakis, I love it at Forest. I've always wanted to stay here. I never wanted to go to Spurs. All those conversations I had were yes, no, I love it here. Yeah. Meanwhile, the guy did turn up. He did not show anything because come January, most Spurs fans were saying, thank God we didn't sign Morgan Gibbs-White. And by the end of the season, that run of 7 or 8 games where he was undoubtedly their best player, would you not say?
He scored 15 goals, didn't he?
Unbelievable. Could you imagine we had a midfielder with 15 goals?
Oh, how many other midfield players scored 15 goals this season? Don't think there were there?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Who would you rather have? Who would you rather still have on the left-hand side? If you could choose anyone, do you still want him?
I'll tell you who I would like. But does he play left side? Is Manasseh from Crystal Palace?
Yeah, I think he plays on the right. He plays on the right. Oh,
who would I play on the left? I'd like to see Rashford there.
This is the guy I want. I've said it and I'll say it again. Saïd Ermala, 6'2", from Colne, left foot, right foot, unbelievable pace, power, direct. Not only can he play on the left because he's 2-footed, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, can play through the middle, can play as a false 9, 19 years of age, 20 starts, 34 appearances, 13 goals, 5 assists. Now,
you see,
I know
Johnny,
it's the German league.
Because you've got Tyne and Thompson coming through.
Yeah, but how long is that going to be, do you think? I know he's a great player, but how long is that going to be? We've seen it so many times, haven't we, Lubo?
We have, but for me, I'd get Rashford in now.
Do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I'd rather have Rashford than a 19-year-old kid.
Do you honestly believe, and I'd love to have Rashford here, but do you honestly believe in your heart of hearts that his ego would allow him to go from Man United to Barcelona to Spurs? And there lies the problem. No. This is playing fantasy football.
Not a
Just
chance.
like this one here, Bradley Barcola, unbelievable player. He ain't coming to Spurs. Yan Diamonde, who Sean and I were talking about a year ago, he ain't coming to Spurs.
Yeah.
None of these top ones. That's why I'm saying it's only if you start to get top world-class players, can you then attract others and they believe that the story is genuine. Thanks very much, Sean. Thank you. Appreciate it. What's your Instagram account, Johnny? It's Talking Tottenham 1882, the same as this channel. What's this? Lubo, who we got here? Hang on. Let's change to a 3.
Yeah.
And let's bring him in. Ta-da!
Sorry.
Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. Good to have you. How you doing, Sava?
I'm all right. I thought we were finishing. Well, I thought I was finishing an hour ago, and then just life gets in the way, doesn't it? So, how you doing? You all good?
Not
Everyone
bad.
excited?
Life's a minestrone full of parmesan cheese, right? You never know what's going to happen. What you? I mean, listen. I don't even. What do you make of Vinai's comments that all the links are false? We were never looking for a director of football. Now's not the time. We haven't been looking for anyone for 6 months. This is a new dawn. This is a new era. Everything's changing. Nothing's going to stay the same. I could give you the whole blurb and give you the highlights of it, but that's basically the gist. Everything's changing.
So everything's changing, but everything was not true about finding a new director of football.
Correct. Apparently, we never were. Apparently.
So,
no one's been turned down. No one's been turned down, and no one has turned us down.
So Lang is the guy, right?
Lang is the guy at the moment. Yes.
Then yeah. What do you say, Johnny? I don't know. Look, I think nearly everyone's made their opinions known on Lang for ages. And knowing this fan base, they'll completely swing by a couple of good signings. But do we trust him? Is this the guy that's going to build this club? How involved is he in transfers? If he's not, who's picking the players? If it's just De Zerbi, how is the manager? How is he possibly doing all this? It's okay now while the players are on holiday, but when the players come back, who's scouting the players? Who's directing that? Who's the one saying, "Oh, hang on, after I've had a long day with the players and I've done all my admin, I tell you what I'm now going to do is sit down and scout all the players I want across Europe." I don't know. It's Spurs, isn't it?
Apparently, Rafi's involved. Apparently, Rafi Mawson, the guy we bought from Man City. He's been on gardening leave for the last 6-7 months. He's left Man City to come to Spurs, but it's a hard one to believe that anything's going to change. And Vinai's gone to the fan advisory board and he said all this stuff, but we've heard it all before. He's accepted that rebuilding the trust requires honesty, clarity, and a visible progress over time, to which the club is fully committed. Supporters should expect the rebuild to take more than one appointment decision or one transfer window, obviously buying themselves more time, whilst recognising the importance of this summer's transfer window in particular, that this is a rebuild. Have we heard that before? Significant work around the rebuild of the club has already begun, even if not all the changes are immediately visible. And that includes, apparently, the fact that they started now rebuild the training ground and changing it from what he perceived and what they said was a 5-star hotel into a performance arena. And the last bit I'll say, players are not bought or sold because the club wants to or Roberto wants to buy them. Johan Lang and his team work hand in glove with Roberto to develop and deliver a joint plan.
Oh God, I love this football club.
Disney? It's like Disney.
I feel like there's a million different messages in one statement. So at the end of the season, we had Charrington followed by
Viv Lewis,
Viv, followed by
Vinai.
Vinai, right? They all came out and said everything's changing. Now he's coming out and going, right, well, some of what I said isn't true, right? Essentially, some of that's not true. So we don't want a first-in-class director of football, right? Is what I'm reading. First and foremost, Johnny, that's what I'm reading from it. We want to compete. We want to be elite. We want to be with the best. But straight away, we poo-pooed the idea of a first-in-class, best-in-class director of football, right? That tells me, again, when I keep saying to people, all the links we're seeing and what we're doing at the moment, Johnny, scream to me of panic, not change. Like and Lubo, you and I keep having this. I don't think this is change. I think this is panic, Johnny, because they don't know what they're doing. I think this is right. Right, De Zerbi, who can we get you to begin with? What do we do? And that's not a plan, by the way. That's not a plan. That is just, who do you like? Oh, I like him, him, and him. All right, we'll get them. But on the wider piece, who's setting the direction of the football club? Is it Rafi Mawson? Is it Lang and his team, which I'm guessing Mawson is part of? And this is what I keep saying to people. They can call me negative all day long. I don't buy into any of this. I think this is sheer panic. And I think what we will see over the next 2 years will be more disorganized transfer windows. And Johnny, I'll end it on this, right? When they say we're rebuilding, what are we rebuilding from? Like,
it's a new build. This is
ground zero, mate.
Right.
It's a new build.
We're not right. Rebuild for me is Man City going from the treble-winning team to players like Cherky, players like Kusanov, players. Do you know what I mean? That's a rebuild. They're rebuilding. We haven't had anything to build from. So, one, what is the rebuild? Two, I will stand by this. This is not change. Now, I might be wrong. Johnny, in 5 years' time, if we're sitting here and we've had 10 good windows in a row and there's a plan, I'll come back on and go, that was change. Everything they're saying just sounds like the same crap we hear every single year.
It's eat, sleep, repeat, right?
Yeah.
I think, Johnny, I think what we've got the old style manager telling the scouting network, this is who I want. Find me this, and then going upstairs to the owner and saying, right, I want you to pay X. This is the price I want you to pay for that. Although, today we're using intermediaries, I think. I know we are for Tonali. And De Zerbi's picking who he wants at the moment. He's sitting down, I've been told, with Lang and Rob McKenzie. What's his name?
Yeah,
and,
Rob McKenzie.
Rob McKenzie.
Rob McKenzie, and they're going through players, and De Zerbi's telling them yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. These are the guys I want. And then I think De Zerbi's then getting other people to go and negotiate and check out with agents. Is your player interested, etc., etc., etc. There's no. It's all micro at the moment. There's no macro level management where the club are saying, right, we want to go in this direction for the next 5 to 10 years. This is the style of play that we're gonna have. These are the players. This is the help we need for the boardroom. We need experienced football people in the boardroom. We're putting them in there, like Ajax have had with people like Overmars, like Bayern Munich had with Honus and Beckenbauer and this one and that one, and that's what's happening. There's no macro strategy. It's all micro, and it's all down. It's down to De Zerbi, and that's where we are at the moment. So, I think the first thing you've got to do is I think it's a question of, right, we've got to stop the spiralling down, because if we don't, we're relegated next season. So how are we going to do that? Right, they've got De Zerbi in. They've seduced De Zerbi with a 12 million a year, 5-year contract. So they've got him in there. He's then gone ahead, done his magic, kept us up. And he said, right, now, guys, now I want who I want. I've earned the right. and this is where we are. So all this thing, Sebastian Kell turned Spurs down. So I don't know what Vinai is talking about.
I mean, listen, I don't believe. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want Sebastian Kell. I mean, if you looked at, when Sean and I have done Football Inc. and we've looked at him, there's been before he was even linked with Spurs, there was trouble at Borussia Dortmund, and we don't need more trouble at this club. We need someone clean, a clean operator.
Yeah.
If he turned round and he said, more believable, that the right candidate that we really want and the type of person that we want is not available now, I could have maybe believed that. Dean Law, thanks very much, God, buddy. Really appreciate that. A super sticker to you. Choo-choo to you. I really appreciate it. And also, Ray, thank you for your very generous super chat. Lubo said Bergvall is only 20, but we're thinking of paying 85 million Fernandes from West Ham, who is just 21, who has been relegated twice, relegated for Southampton and sold for 38 million, and then gone to West Ham and relegated again. Not good enough to stop them going down. Often we hear about, listen, a contributory factor, right?
Mate, watch for whoever this is. Ray, love you to bits, whoever you are. Watch Fernandes. He is class.
He is good.
As an individual footballer, he is quality.
Yeah.
We can't that's like saying we don't want
call
Jared,
it though. Well, call it. Yeah.
Sure, but that's like saying we don't want Jared Bowen because he got relegated.
I know. But what is levelled, Sava, listen, what is levelled every season at Spurs, right? What happens? All we do is we buy the players from the clubs that always get relegated. That's what's levelled at us every year. And now we're getting a hard on the whole fan base. All of a sudden, we got to have Fernandes. If you'd have said that last year, before he had done his performance last year, he would have gone, what are we doing here?
Is a fair answer to this comment. But when you look at all the players, that are good players, that have done well, that are playing at a good level across the main leagues in Europe. Look at every player when they're 26. A percentage of them at 19, 20, 21, you've got the very, very top, which is like 1 in a million, which is your Yamal. You've got people like Diamondi. You've got people like Kobe Mainu that came through very early. You've got people like Fernandes. You've got certain players that are superb from a very early age. And then you've got other players who develop that little bit later, who come into their own in their early 20s. So, not every player is going to be as good as Fernandes at the age of 21, who actually makes it and becomes a senior pro 5-6 years later.
But is there a chance that Bergvall at 21 next season, if he goes to a club, would actually show promise that would warrant an increase in fee?
I've got to tell you, Johnny, no. I think he's been. I think he's suffered because of the coaching in the last 2 years. I think if he had a top coach, I think a lot of the. So this is where it comes down to. I'll call because he's a different level. Sav, he's developed much earlier, and he's much better from an early age.
But that's not always true. This is the problem. You're assuming that everyone develops to be to that level, right? Matheus Fernandes is naturally a much better footballer than Gray and Bergvall, for example, who are 20. Whichever way we want to look at it, I know you will offend them till you're blue in the face, right? But Matheus Fernandes has played for Southampton and West Ham. So I'm not going to hear the coaching. I'm sorry, even without the coaching, you should be able to watch Bergvall now and go, I know what you are, what you do, and what you're good at. And whenever I've asked you, what is Bergvall good at? You can name me a lot of things, and not one of them is to do with the actual football. He works hard.
No, ball carrying. I think it's ball carrying.
But ball carrying to what? He ball carries into trouble. Like, what's he good at as a player? There's what I'll ask. For everyone who loves Bergvall, what is he good at? What's his strengths?
Are you basing it? Look, I said it earlier, you weren't on. And I said, if you pivoted back to his debut season where he swept the board, Young Player of the Year and Spurs Player of the Year, right? He won all the awards, okay? And then we have this season where he's had concussion, he's had 2 injuries, he's had 3 managers. There is no doubt whatsoever, Sava, he's gone backwards. I'm not going to sit here.
I never rated him to begin with, Johnny.
That's fair enough.
I don't think he's a good footballer. Like I feel like for his age, he's quite physical. He's a good size. He looks an athlete, and I think that and his work rate takes away from the fact that if you actually strip it back and look at him as a midfielder, when he's got the ball, what is he good at? Now, it doesn't mean he won't be good at anything, but go and watch Matheus Fernandes as a footballer. He's just got it. His footwork, his ability, he's comfortable on the ball. 2-3 players around him, he wriggles out of situations. He can spread play, short passes, long passes. He can drive with it. That's not just coaching. That's his natural game. He's good at that. Bergvall, for me, hasn't got a natural thing that he's good at. And they're 1 year apart and 5 levels apart as footballers for me. And that's the difference. That's why De Zerbi will want Fernandes in his 11 and he won't want Bergvall. I just don't know.
Well, I mean, I think he's, Sorry, Johnny, I don't believe. No, it's fair enough. It's fair enough. And I don't believe for 1 minute what De Zerbi is saying, that this is, it's a group decision. It's not all based on what De Zerbi wants. We all know, you can't put a wool over our eyes. We know what happens when De Zerbi doesn't get what he wants. He walks. And I'm here for backing De Zerbi, right? Agreed. And what De Zerbi wants, De Zerbi should get within the realms of possibility. But at the same time, a caveat sometimes, like I said the other day, I wouldn't give my missus my credit card and say, just go on down to Selfridges and enjoy yourself, right? I'd have to go with her and pull the reins out and say to her, that's enough, right? And the same with De Zerbi. De Zerbi, I want this one, I want that one. Hey, Roberto, this is why you need a top director of football to say, you know what? If we don't get this one for 80 million, there's another player here that I've been scouting 30, 40 million. Right.
So this goes back into, Johnny, what we've just been talking about. If they're turning around and saying, we're not hiring a best-in-class director of football, and this is where, when I try and have football conversations with people, we all think in the now. Like, we all think in the right now, the immediate, right? Right now, De Zerbi might be going, I want Fernandes, I want Tonali, I want Savi, I want Rashford, whoever it may be, Johnny, and that's great. But that's not sustainable for a football club to operate like that in the long term. So what will happen is, if we go and get Tonali and Fernandes and Rashford, people will go, what a great window. And yes,
100%.
On the face of it, great window. But Johnny, there's a difference between having a great window and actually having a football plan in place. And this is why I don't refer to them as ENIC 2.0. I don't trust them, right? If they had gone out and the first thing they'd announced, when did we play Brighton? Who did we play last game of the season?
Everton.
So whatever that day was, the Sunday, right?
Yeah.
If on the Monday they had announced, Spurs have announced, I don't know, I'm just spit, but Paul Mitchell was director of football.
Yeah.
Right? I would turn around and go, they're learning.
Correct.
They're learning. Right. This guy's coming in. Let's give this guy some years because he's going to.
It's been 6 months, right? 6 months since January with no one, other than Lang,
mate. But it's now Lang. So now we're hearing again, it's the guy that no one liked, right?
That no one trusts.
Okay, this guy's. So I think that, I hope I'm wrong. Johnny, as always, I say this every year, and every year so far, it's been the same. What we're going to do is we are going to say, what a great window because De Zerbi's picked the targets. But if you actually scratch beneath the surface after this window, which is a window of panic because they were scared we nearly got relegated, the question will need to be asked, who's running things?
Yeah.
Who's scouting for the future?
Sure.
Now, here's another thing, Lubo, we've talked about this, right? I think it's great for this summer that every single player we've looked at, Johnny, every single player is Prem proven.
Well, that's a plus. That's a plus, right?
That's who he wants. That's who he wants for this transfer window.
Sure, but my point is, Lubo, that's brilliant for the one window while you're getting the quick fix. That's great.
You're going to say what we've said before you came on, which is basically we ain't interested in a one window wonder, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So my question is, that's brilliant for this window and we'll all love it, right? But where's the scouting? Moving forward, you can't just constantly buy from the Premier League because of the cost. Every player in the Premier League, if we scouted properly, you get a Mateus Fernandes type player,
a Rayan,
for 30 million abroad.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But we want Prem proven, so Mateus Fernandes is going to be 80 million. That's fine in one window, but you can't pay 80 million every time you want a midfielder.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So when people are quick to tell me that I'm negative and I'll give them a chance, I just still don't see that this is an actual plan. I see that this is a panic. Shit, let's get De Zerbi in at 12 million a year. We've got to give him what he wants in year one because the fans are massively on our back. But no new director of football. Sorry, Johnny.
But listen, you're spot on. And like the thing is, it is panic. You know, you can't dress it up as any other thing. We nearly lost. We nearly went down. They nearly lost, you know, probably 1.5 billion or maybe more in the value of their club. Yeah, you know, sponsors would have deserted them in their droves. Great. You can't deny any of it. I've always been an advocate of buying top quality players, but a bigger advocate of proper scouting when you find, like I said before, like your Rayans, like finding the players like Pinto at Bournemouth, who constantly finds players again and again and again. A Krupi Jr. or other players, you know, how's it at Brighton, Bournemouth, you know, and other clubs, and even Brentford managed to find players that we don't scout. It's the same. It's not like in the old days when you used to watch the World Cup sort of 10, 15 years ago, or 3 World Cups ago. You watched the World Cup to see players you'd never even heard of and you'd never seen. Now, with the internet, and with X and with all the data centers, there's no secrets anymore. Everything's out in the open. And when you go to an agency, all the agencies know every single player. There isn't any sort of surprises, okay? Even at 14, 15, 16. So the question is, if you have the ambition to recruit these top players, why do you keep missing over and over and over again? Just one quick thing. Hull Spurs, thanks very much. I hope you are in Hull. Been Hull away a few times. If you are in Hull, 1978, was he there for the whole game? Did we play Hull in 78? We didn't, did we?
No, we played Hull. We played Hull in
77. Yeah.
77, 78. We lost.
Yeah.
That was our first defeat of the season in Division 2. We lost 2-0. And we beat them in our last home game of the season, 1-0, with a Steve Perryman goal in the 86th minute.
Big up to you and Holt. But hopefully we'll see you up there when we go to the away game.
No, we'll see you in, I think it's December, Johnny. I think Spurs are there in December.
Andy Lester, big up for the super sticker. Really appreciate the support. Sorry, go on, carry on.
I was just going to say, for me, I think the interesting thing here is, I think, like, I when I read some of the comments, see people going, "Oh, he's complaining about Prem Proven." If you actually listen to what I said, I didn't complain about Prem Proven. I said that's needed right now, right? We've talked about this, Lubo. Prem Proven for right now is needed. What I'm saying is not about now. I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that Spurs have been so bad for so many years because there's been no plan. I think what we're doing right now, if we land Tonali and Fernandes, that revolutionises Tottenham as a team. That's a brilliant midfield partnership. My question around this is not, that's aimed at me, by the way, Johnny. Billy likes me.
All right.
My question is, if you are not going and getting a director of football to run things, my question is, how do we move forward? And if people are saying, oh, you're moaning, that must mean they're happy with Lang. If you're happy with Lang, don't complain in the next window. We go back to doing things that Lang does. Right? This isn't about De Zerbi. Love De Zerbi. No problem with De Zerbi. But we've got to have a plan. And they've told us today, essentially, literally the plan is Lang and his team.
It's Lang and his team, and like we have a plan. Well, how can you have a plan? When did this plan start to take fruition? Bearing in mind that they outed Levy in September of last year.
Yeah.
Okay. They've had all this time. The plan was not to buy anyone in January, which nearly cost us our Premier League existence. Yeah. So what is the plan? What was the next plan? Was the plan from January when Paratici turned around and said, I can't work with these jokers because everything I try and tell them, they don't listen. I told them to get De Zerbi, they got Frank, right? So, it ain't my problem. He decides to leave. And what does he do? He takes Fiorentina, who are in dog shit trouble, looking like they're getting relegated. He brings in 5-6 players and they come out and finish 15th. We carry on. And in the 5-6 months since January, we haven't appointed or found a director of football. How comes this so-called big club can't attract a job of director of football?
Jonny, I've said, and people shot me down. I genuinely think, and not now, not this summer, because they won't get the money that they want, particularly because of the last 2 years and everything that's gone on. To rebuild this team into a team that competes with the top clubs on a sustainable basis, you're looking at $1 billion plus, including wages.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll want to get involved with that level of outlay. I genuinely don't. I think they'll get the club back up the table to a position where they can get a proper, in terms of what they want, a proper amount of money, and they will sell. And the other thing, I think there's been a lot of talk about £300 million being available for players for this summer window. Where have ENIC all of a sudden got 300? Where have they got £300 million from?
As I said, they sold the Rolf Harris paintings, have gone, right, and the rest of the paintings, I don't know.
There's 24.99% that Brooklyn Eric and his consortium were meant to be buying from Levy. All went very quiet, didn't it?
Well, that's what I've said numerous times. That I believe.
And I think that obviously they don't want people to know that there's money there. Although it's very difficult to think otherwise when you're bidding for £80 million players. But I think this will come out in September after the window finishes. That I think that there has been some outside investment put into the club, which is why there's 300 million allegedly available to spend, and that will come down because that's a gross figure, not a net figure, and we've got to get rid of players, because if you bring 6 or 7 players in, you've got to find room in the squad for them, so you've got to knock players out. So we've got 4 in at the moment, 3 have gone, so and I heard he wants 7 players, so he wants another 3 minimum. So 3 have got to go.
I've said all along about Brooklyn Eric, or Eric, or whatever you want to call him, Eric, 8 Sports Capital. I've messaged him, and he's been messaging me back over the last 6 months, I would say, probably. And I said to you, when the news came out, and I had sent him a message, he gave me a smiley face and a thumbs up, right? Since the thing was dismissed, a few days later, he's all gone very quiet, and he's gone very quiet. He hasn't replied since. Yeah. Whereas before, when I was going to Japan, he told me some places to go, blah, blah, blah. So he's gone very quiet. I also believe, as I said to you before, right from the off, I believe that some money's coming in. Those aren't voting rights. So for him to have, a say at the table, he would have to offer ENIC the money to have a seat at the table and to have some sort of say in the direction of the club. If you remember, with Arsenal, Usmanov was the main shareholder at Arsenal, and the Cronkies had a small proportion and got a seat at the table and started to eat away at it. And I think maybe there is this scenario, because look, they're acting like a big club at the moment with the spending money. in theory. In practice, it's all cheap.
Looking to spend money.
Looking to spend. What about this? What about where are we? Cody Gapco. Any interest?
I'd take him all day long. I'd take him all day long. He's not. I said to you the other day, Johnny. He's not my first choice. But what's our first choice on the left side at the moment? It's Matisse Tell.
I mean, would you take him?
I'd take
over him. No, I wouldn't.
Listen, I've both very different players. One's a winger who runs at people. One's more of an inside forward who wants to come and join up the dots and get in the box and score goals. Let's be fair, they're both levels above what we've got at the moment.
I think Said El Marla's levels above what we got at the moment, but that's me. Somerville, yay or nay?
Yep.
Yeah.
These players are all. It doesn't even matter if they're your first choice. Correct. I think people have got to realise where we're coming from. We had a whole season where our only left-sided player was Matisse Tell. That can never be allowed to happen again.
Are they going to moan though? Are these fans going to moan? Like for example, my first choice is not Savinho. He's not even my second or third choice, right? But if Savinho comes, I'm going to accept it that this is the player that De Zerbi or they have identified, and I'll live with it. Because why? Because Savinho can't be worse than Matisse Tell is at this precise moment, right? Whatever the midfielder we get, I can't complain because it's a step up on what we've currently have.
Do you know what, Johnny? We're not going to. I don't think as fans we're not going to agree with every single player.
No chance.
That De Zerbi brings in, but I think when you look at his record, took Brighton into Europe, he took Marseille up the table. He's kept us up with a dog shit squad. The guy knows what he's doing, and I think he probably gets a lot more right than he gets wrong. So I'm happy to sit back, have a look, see what happens. I'll judge the window on the 1st of September. Listen, everybody wants everything now. We see players coming in, we see free transfers coming in, and it's, hang on a second. If we're bringing players in on free transfers, why can't we bring players in? You know, get these big players signed up, get them in pre-season, etc. I think everyone's just got to just relax a little bit. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. If please God they come off, if they don't come off, then they've got to have replacements lined up, ready to go.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. When I saw Said El Marla, in sort of middle of the season, just before January, I think it's December time, and I just saw him by chance because I was watching my RB Leipzig, who I had to follow last season, wear the shirt and everything. I was going like, who's this, right? Then I started looking back and I saw what he'd been doing. Then I saw the hype. Then I continued to watch him. And then I'm looking into him and thinking, wow, what a player. Why is no one in our club talking about him? And I did a video of him and like, oh, he's shit. But it's because we don't look further than the Premier League. And this is what Sava was saying before. Why not buy a Said El Marla that could go on to become an unbelievable player, which I think he is going to be, and get him now? He's still going to cost you 40 million or 50 million euros, definitely, because they know they've got a talent on their hands. Instead, we have to wait and see the name players, right?
Unfortunately, Johnny, this is listen, and I need to make it clear because I know people don't. I know people only hear me, but because they've judged me from previous years of supporting Spurs, they're pretending what I'm saying rather than what I'm saying. For now, I get why we're going for the Prem Proven, because we've not scouted properly. Right? If we 100%. Had scouts, Johnny, for the last few years, we would have been looking at the El Marlas. We would have been looking at the Solis.
We got rid of them.
Right. So we haven't got those players scouted. So right now, I get it. I get that De Zerbi's probably gone, right, in window one, get me 4, 5, 6 players who know this league. Robertson, Senesi, Van Hecker, right? Tonali, Fernandes. If he goes for Savio, Rashford, they all know the Premier League. Because I don't think Spurs know any good players outside of the Premier League, right? That's going to be the test for me. As I said, that will be the test in January. next summer, this is going to be the test, because you can't keep paying 70, 80 million pound for a mid. Like you can't. That's normally
Correct.
That's your marquee player.
Correct.
So what most clubs will be doing right now, but they're not in panic like we are. Lubo, tell me if you agree with me here. Because we need a new midfield and we're panicking, we've gone, oh shit, we need to spend 160, 170 million on Fernandes.
Correct.
And Tonali.
Correct.
And fans are going to go, this is new. It's not going to be like that every window. This is to address how bad we are right now and to get us back to some sort of competitive phase. From next year, we need to be able to go, right, can't spend 80 million on a third midfielder, right? Oh, look at that gem from Portugal for 20 million.
Yeah.
Look at that guy from France for 15 million.
They should have bought Kliush for 30 million. I mean, what a miss that was. Right. 30 million you could have had him for.
Right. Okay.
There's so many players. There's just so many players that, I look at.
Jonny, the problem with Lang is that he will go and find you. He will, with his contacts, with the academies, he will go and find you a Bergvall for 8 million. He'll go and find you a Sousa for 12 million, who may very well be a very
What's the point of that? I just, sorry to interrupt you there, right? I'll come back, right? But just 12 million on Sousa, who is not going to be anywhere near the first team. For 12 million, he's going to go out on loan. Yet my mate, who runs the Brazil for CAA at Brazil, he says he's not even on his radar. With respect, he says he's not even on his radar. Mm-hmm. The player wasn't even on his radar. I can give you my Brazil radar. He ain't on it. So what are we doing here? Well, 12 million.
Unfortunately, Jonny, this is the problem where you have owners who don't know how to run a club on a macro basis. It filters down and affects the day-to-day running of the football club. You've got to have top people in your organisation all the way down, and we don't. We have nobody on the board advising them. These are real estate people. The Lewises are real estate people. Butcher runs their development side for property in Florida. These are real estate people. They're not football, sporting people. And that is the biggest problem. And until they bring somebody onto the board, we got major problems. Or you do what Arsenal, perfect example. Hate to use them as an example. Can't stand the buggers. Got the utmost respect for them, the way they run their football club. I mean, the way they ran it with the Hillwoods was superb. The way David Dean ran it, they went off the ball when they got rid of David Dean. They pushed him out. That was a major mistake. The Cronkays have come in. They bought the club. They are a sporting franchise organization.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And they have won now. Every single one of their sporting franchises have now won their respective division. And they understand sports. Chelsea are more of a basket case, but they're a sporting franchise. Liverpool are as well. United with the Glazers, they've now got I don't know how they're running it with what's the name, Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe, because he brought in Braithwaite, didn't he, who had a sporting pedigree, and now Braithwaite's gone. So God only knows what's going on with United. But when you look at the Arsenals and the Liverpools, this is how these clubs are run. They are run by people that understand sports. They understand, there is a strategy of running a sporting franchise. It doesn't matter whether it's NFL, whether it's basketball, whether it's ice hockey, whether it's football. There is a way, there is an ambition, there is a way of running it, and we don't have that.
But how many people care? My point is, look how many people. What people will do is they will just look at a few names on a transfer window and say, we've changed, right? I want Spurs to change systemically throughout the club,
yes,
right? And this is
micro, isn't it?
Micro. When I'm told I'm negative all the time, I'm looking at it from the long-term perspective. So if we announce Tonali tomorrow, absolute brilliant signing, right? No one's going to say it isn't. And people will say, it's changed. But what's the plan behind that? All right, you bought Tonali. Who's now scouting for the Tonali profile to be coming in behind Tonali in the next few years?
I think
that's what I want.
I think if you strip down and you use the English language literally, I think what is different this summer is that they are prepared to spend higher, bigger wages, and they are prepared to spend more money in the transfer market buying players. That's where the change is.
Sure.
That is where the change is.
Forced change, right, Lubo?
Well, correct. Correct. Because if we'd have finished sixth, we wouldn't be doing this.
Right. This is my point, Lubo. If this season Spurs had scraped Conference League football, right? Let's just say we'd scraped Conference League football, which would have meant finishing 8th, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine, right now, I don't care what anyone says, we're not going in at 80, 85, 90 million pound bids for Tonali, right? Because they're not panicking. And that is why when I talk about change, it can't be seen over a few transfers. It needs to be seen over
it's a long-term
years.
Long-term change.
Yes. Yeah.
At the moment, you've got very short-term change.
Absolutely.
And we want long-term change. So
if we get players,
it's the description behind the word that we're talking.
Absolutely. And I've said to you, listen, Lubo, whatever we agree or disagree on, we've always both said we need, as a football club, a plan. And the plan can't be just to throw loads of money at it. That's a short-term solution because we've dropped so far, right?
That's right. What happened with Arsenal was that they treated the Kroenkes treated the club as a money-making machine, like Lewis and Levy did. When you had the Super League fiasco in 2020, was it? I think Stan sent Josh across. They saw the level of disgust from the fans. The fans went ballistic. There were thousands outside the ground.
Yeah.
And they thought to themselves, shit, we're not doing this right here. This is a club, they look at this fan base. They are engaged. They are committed. And he sent Josh Kroenke over, who worked on a full-time basis. Arteta came in. Arteta said, literally, I heard about a conversation Arteta had with 3 of his major stars at the end of the first week of training. And he said to him, I've come from a club, I've come from the Etihad, where they've got better players, more successful players who give 100% in every training session. And if you guys aren't interested, you can fuck off. And 4 of them went within a year.
Yeah.
4 of them went within a year. And they backed him, and they backed him over 12 transfer windows.
What have they got now, Lou? But if you look at Arsenal now obviously they're a lot further down the line. But when you look at the main man, who's the main man running football at Arsenal?
It's Berta, isn't it? Who they got from Atletico Madrid.
Right. Now, you look at a guy like Berta and you go, hang on, sorry, I don't want to say your name live. He's got something. Sorry. If you
in the office, by the way.
No, not in the office. I'm not in the office. No. If you look at a guy like Berta, the Arsenal fans trust him with their recruitment. The guy's got a black book, the list of whatever. He knows how to get deals done. Right now, everyone's saying it's changed. It's still Johan Lang. Right, and this is the point, right? So if it's going to be Johan Lang, it will be really interesting when we're in the throes of a season and De Zerbi hasn't got the time to scout footballers. Who is Johan Lang taking to De Zerbi? That's going to be the interesting thing for me. By the way, Fernandes, Tonali, Senesi, Van Hecke, Robertson, Rashford. This isn't scouting.
You don't need to scout. We could just sit there and watch TV.
Right, Johnny, that's my point. These are household names that everyone knows what they're good. Right.
Exactly.
The scouting for me is Arsenal have gone out and bought, for example, Mosquera.
Yeah, which we could have bought, by the way, let me tell you.
Sure.
Does he play for Colombia? Is he Colombian?
Mosquera? Pass.
I think he's playing
got a heart. He has a condition that he has to, when they're doing training and stuff, that someone has to be on standby at training, and Spurs worried about whether that would be an issue. Arsenal didn't have any such thoughts. He's an absolute giant for 12 mil.
I'm using him as an example, right? When you look, Gabriel was scouted. Saliba, scouted, right? You look at Mosquera, scouted, right? Some of these players that they've brought in, right? Havertz wasn't scouted. Like, players like that don't need to be. So going after
He's Spanish.
De Zerbi saying, I want Tonali, that's not, oh my God, we've scouted. Everyone wants Sandro Tonali. He's a top midfielder. What I want to see is, where's your I'm not saying just this guy, I'm just, where's your Almala? Where's your Solis before they get wanted by Arsenal? Where's your Manu Kone before he goes to Roma? That's where I don't think we've got it right yet. And that's why I will keep my powder dry this summer, get the club back to a stage where, okay, we've got a competitive 11 that can actually finish in the top half, top 7. Now show us in January who you scouted, because every target De Zerbi wants, if they're from the Premier League, every club's going to come wise to us and go, Spurs are about 70 million.
Yeah, because it's also, you know, what frustrates me so much is, you know, like having done, you know, the channel that I set up with Sean and even before that, so much interest in finding young, fantastic players who are going to go on and be special. And I'm sitting there and I'm doing it all the time, looking for this player, looking for that player, unearthing this one. And then you see, he's been linked here. He's going there. He's going here. And I think to myself, why am I sat in front of my computer watching and finding these players? What the fuck are they doing at Tottenham Hotspur? What are they doing? Why? I don't have.
Sorry, Vinai, you want Jonny to call you in the morning?
Yeah, right. See, where's our scouts looking at Rayan? Where are our scouts looking at Krupi, Rayan, right? Players that have gone straight into a first 11 in the Premier League and hit the ground. Where are our...
Evan Nielsen? We sold Solanke for 60. They sold Solanke for 65 million and bought Evan Nielsen. Then they sold half their other players and replaced them all with better players.
Paritici wanted that Kliush, and Frank and Lang said no. We want what's his name? Who went
Johnson?
back to?
Johnson.
What was his name?
Who are you talking about?
Do you know what?
West Ham player.
Yeah.
Who went back to Paqueta.
Okay. Do you know what, guys? Right. I get what people are saying. First and foremost, we've got to get this window out of the way, right? I get it. And this window will be fine if we can land Fernandes, Tonali, or 2 players of that ilk. Then we go and get 2 or 3 forwards. We'll be fine. I just think before everyone's telling me that everything has changed and ENIC 2.0 are amazing, you can't tell me that when we're in June, right? This is the same owners that in January did nothing whilst watching us sinking towards a relegation battle with no forwards and no wingers, right? I want to see, what do we do when, let's say next year we finish 5th, right, and scrape Champions League, or we finish 6th and get Europa League. What do they do when the fans are happy and no one's calling for their heads?
Yeah, well, we have another 2019 where we've just reached the pinnacle,
right? And
we've not invested, because don't worry, we don't need to spend the money now. We finished 5th last year, right? We don't need to spend the money. Just another player who I've been raving about is Malik Tillman, right? Who I saw at Rangers, and I kept going on about Spurs because I'm sort of a little bit of a Rangers fan as well. He goes to Bayer Leverkusen, been raving about him. He's gone to the World Cup. He's been outstanding for America, as has Dest. You know, there are players out there.
There are
players. You know, like, why aren't we? I know a lot of the average Spurs fan, like, we're not normal. Us YouTubers like me.
What's Lang's skill set, Jonny?
Well, like you and me, Sean and some others who are like obsessed with the overseas players. We ain't normal. We're not abnormal, but the average fan doesn't know these players.
Yeah, sure.
So when they're presented with a guy that here's another Danny Rose, another player we got to Google, when really he's actually smashing it up in Germany or France or Spain, you know, and they don't know about. And but what are our recruiters doing? Really, man, it's embarrassing.
Look, Jonny, I've got to go. Right, I'm live
So
tonight.
have I as well. So have
I'm
I
live
as
tonight,
well.
but I'm sure Lubo will join me tonight. I'm sure I know what he's like.
I'm actually live tonight at 8 from about 8 till 9. So you on afterwards or you?
Well, where are you on at 8? Where?
Tottenham Touchline.
Oh God, no! I don't care about them. I'll rival them.
Yeah.
I don't care. If it was just your channel, I would have politely moved my. No, sorry, Jonny. Just before I go, I'll just say this. Right, it is imperative right now. Whatever I think of the club and the plan, we need, for me, Tonali and Fernandes. Right? If it's not Tonali and Fernandes, it needs to be Tonali and Wharton, or Wharton and Fernandes. It's imperative that we change the engine room of this football club, right?
Yeah.
Then after that, Sonny Jag just said, it's not arrogant. I don't know those guys. I'm not going to change the time. If Jonny is going live or Lubo, I will change the time of my live because they're my friends. I don't know the other guys. I'm not going to change the time of my show for people I don't know. If we can do that and change the engine room, then, Jonny, I'm going to even caveat it further. We've got to see between now and the end of the window that we go and buy a striker. We go and buy some wingers, right? Then let's see what they do. Let's see if they rest on their laurels or they actually bring in a director of football, because this club cannot be run by Johan Lang. I don't care what anyone says. He cannot be the main guy moving forward. And until
I don't think anyone disagrees. I don't think anyone disagrees.
Then people need to stop telling me there's change, because if that's the guy running the football side of things, that's not change.
Yeah, you need an organisation, and behind every top club is a top director of football, and that's it, guys. If you're in the chat, guys, please hit the like button. Help
Jonny,
the algorithm grow.
Much love.
Sava, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. And guys, if you're here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. Let me just change back to the 2. There we go. If you hit the subscribe button, loads of you watching, been hundreds of you watching, 500-600 or more watching at some points. So really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as we grow the channel. Get the following up. Lubo, we'll go for about another 5-10 minutes, mate, because Martin Dubravka is a great person and a goalkeeper. David from Newcastle. Thanks, David. Oh, you're always on the channels. Look after him, please, Spurs. He's still quality, and we wish we'd never sold him. Yeah, well, that's a good endorsement, I think. I prefer him to Steele, though, don't you? Lubo?
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I haven't seen much of Steele. I have seen a lot of Dubravka. He looked very good last season. Listen, he was in a relegated team, so he was in action every match, wasn't he? But he played very well. I mean, against Spurs, his performance at their place was just out this world, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, there were 9 or 10 saves he made.
We all know Dougie Freeman's the man. Unfortunately, it looks like he's already making moves in Saudi with purchases. Offering money for players. It's going to take a king's ransom to get him back, unfortunately. Let's see some of the other comments before we go. Freeman is the man. We've seen that one. Great show, guys. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it. Guys, we're going to leave it there. We've been going. We only started to go for, I thought we'd go for an hour. We ended up going for 2 hours and 20 minutes, is what often happens in these shows. As again, thanks very much for your support for the new channel. Couldn't do it without you. Thanks very much to Lubo for coming on and contributing to the show. All part of it. And hopefully Lubo will be on lots more along with other guests as we move forward. And thanks to everyone in the chat. Can't be here without you. We'd be just talking to ourselves. So let's hope a bomber drops tonight. No doubt, as soon as we get off here, the bomber will drop. And well, hopefully it does. But it's goodbye from me, goodbye from Lubo, and come on, you Spurs.